Hi guys, it is Thursday, and that means it's time for another episode of the Daily Berg. Um, Holy Spirit, what do you want to talk about tonight? Guys, I feel like I'm not walking in this yet. I'm still learning how to be aware of it, but I feel like God has a measure of peace for us to walk in that's hard for us to comprehend. It's so big that it would make the most humongous trials of life seem kind of minuscule. And I think most of it has to do with just seeing Jesus as he is and being willing to interact with him as he is. I think a lot of us, maybe out of some sense of trying to stay humble, we try and keep God at a distance. We don't want to assume that he wants to do things for us. We don't want to assume that he's interested in the stuff that we're interested in or cares about where our hearts are at past a certain point. And I would like to suggest that he does care, that he cares really deeply, that he's stoked that you find some kind of passionate response to anything. And I don't mean that it needs to ever be a justification for sin. Again, whenever we're talking morality, guys, it's already specified. You live righteous, you live holy. We don't do immoral things. It's not good, so we don't do them. But when we're talking about guys that are passionate about video games or rock climbing or painting, I mean, whatever the thing is that you're taking joy from, whatever the pastime is or the desire of your heart, I don't think God's ashamed of any of that stuff at all. I think when we create, we actually tend to relate more to God than not, because he's a creator. So Holy Spirit, how would we aim to walk in peace then? There's a song by Stephanie Frizzell Gretzinger, or Gretzinger, I'd have to listen to her say her last name. And it's a really simple song. It doesn't have a lot of complexity going on. At the moment, I'm not sure what it's called, but the only line in the song is "Open up and let the light in." So open up, let the light in. I feel like how we start to walk in this peace is just to let Holy Spirit in, to treat him like he wants to be there, and to acknowledge him when he says he has something to say, when he says that he wants to be with us, that he wants to do life with us. And not to try and talk our way out of his desire for intimacy with us, because of behavior that we don't feel is up to par, or because we see other people relate to him in ways that we think of as better. He just wants to be with us. It's kind of hard to get a picture of the scale of the agape love that God brings to the table. It's hard to get a grip on a sacrifice so large. I don't mean because of sin. Sin is what it is. But it was a sacrifice so large in that Jesus, being God, it was infinite. It covered everything. And I think it's hard for us to operate on that sometimes. It's hard for us to apply it because we think that what's in front of us is so massive, or the sins that we've committed are so huge, or the things that we've been through are so big. How could we ever not be affected by them? How could we ever be healed? But Jesus is that big, and he's that good, and God likes people that much, loves them. I think we need to start walking in that. I think that's what the kingdom ends up looking like when it's on display through the bride. Well, or at least one of many facets. But I think that's kind of at the core of everything, is the ministry of the kingdom, the ministry of us, our time here, according to Jesus, according to the Word, is that we're in the ministry of reconciliation. So we don't count the world's trespasses against them. And I only bring it up because that means that you're free from having to spend a ton of time angry and offended and mad at people for their behavior. I know it seems right to be mad at people who do you wrong, but Jesus wasn't. And I know it seems comfortable in a lot of ways to be able to say, well, at least I'm not like that, or at least I'm not doing those things, or at least, I don't know, I'm better than this other group of people or person because of these things. And I don't think Jesus was doing that either. I keep coming back to this point because I think I like food. Like I love cooking, I love feeding people. They followed Jesus for days without food. Until they're doing that with us, I think we still have room to grow. And I think part of how we start growing is to receive peace. And I think how we receive peace is by acknowledging the Holy Spirit. Guys, I love you. Bless you. And we'll see you tomorrow.